Now, when you live like Uriel, you're doing what God taught Uriel, and I'm gonna teach you what God taught me. It's the other way. As a spirit, you choose what space you need to be in. Even if in a one, two, or third dimension, you did the backwards version and you already manifested things in your arm reach that piss you off. So you might got a person around you, you already manifested that piss you off. That don't mean spiritually you have to allow them to piss you off. You could switch spaces as a spirit because you ain't none of these somethings. You're nothing. So you could switch a different space, not be in that space that a person probably keep trying to drag you back in, that you still manifested. Teamwork makes the dream work, or you wouldn't attracted them. You probably just got lesser on the percentage scale of it as far as putting in the energy. So you probably could put out a lot of stuff that you could justify that you the victim and stuff too. But still, at some point, you got to know how to not create the same circumstance. That fuck the people, places, and things. The circumstances was beautiful or ugly. That's what God look at. And then for the most part, you could just switch your space, and then you are aware of different things if you're in a different space. So that awareness is a mind, a spaceship you get ready to develop. If it's a collection of thoughts and feelings that ain't got nothing to do with that frustration, then boom, as a spirit, you was the controller, and you had God consonance dissonance version of it. Not the one, two, and third dimensional demon one of it, where it just leads to argument and debates, is one that you just use for yourself, regardless of how the actual circumstance playing out. And you're not going to lie about it either in the physical, but in your mind, you know you're doing the magic alchemy to change it aspect of it. Then for the most part, once you change the space, you change your awareness, then 9 times out of 10, that bends in the one, two, and third dimension. You end up being on a different time. So the people, places, and things you around is more on a percentage scale than that person that frustrates you. Then once you work on that long enough in the physical as a ritual and spell, anything you do as a ritual and spell in your mind, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, it's a witchcraft with your body in the one, two, and third dimension. So all the crystals and gems and beyond esoteric stuff, all the interactions with the people, other people that represent that new space you in and stuff like that, right? Fills in so much time that eventually is no percentage of time, not even a second, that person that frustrated you can be around you. Y'all lives is just in totally different spaces now. You know what I'm saying? Your real can never be pseudo. My knowledge get you out of the mind state of even debating and arguing and stuff, and just make you think like, oh damn, this is what I see every day. If you can see it every day, it's closer to God. If you can't see it every day, it's something that got a bias, contradiction, or is being used against you in some way, or being used by fools. So if you can't see the Big Bang every day, it ain't something to get lost in. You can't see string theory every day, it ain't something to get lost in. If you can see, if you can't see people being born out the ground from a specific geographical location, to make that the whole reason why they saying you from a geographical location in DNA, then it don't exist. If you can see people being born every day and dying every day, that's exists. If you can see people being born out of thin air and being inside of somebody, and then a person having to carry that person for a certain amount of time before they can even walk on the ground, that exists. Y'all didn't got lost in life so much by men and women. You could say something like me, you get born out of thin air, and a person first robotic agent mind to start flickering, like homeboy Doctor Strange off at the end of the goddamn it the Avengers. What was the second or the third one? And then they'd be arguing against themselves, thinking that they about to get 2 nickels or rock a community to sleep and get people on their side. Where motherfucker, you know you came out of thin air, bitch. You know you came out your mama's ass. You know you came outside of a body. You know you ain't come out no ground and grow like a plant. You know that. So it's like y'all get so fucking lost. Y'all get on Google and go and think that the things on Google in the sky is stuff that you really can see in the sky. And somebody took a picture. None of them shits on Google is actual pictures of things that's actually in the sky. You ain't gonna never see a swirl in the sky, nothing. Those are hypotheticals based upon what they think the sun do, based on we being aware of there must be a cycle, because we see the sun being in a position and we see it going back to that position. So that's how we make hypotheticals like horizons and points of awarenesses and cardinal squares, 4 waters, 4 winds, and north poles and south poles, and maps and stuff like that. We're not saying these things actually in the sky. We're saying these things are point of reference to understand where we at in space and time. Ain't got shit to do with nothing else. Not no periodic table, not no material we solidify as dirt or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta keep that in motherfucking mind. But yeah, getting back into this goddamn astrology and shit, we got a grand fire trine in the goddamn sky. So for the most part, we're gonna have this gift to be flunked out when it comes to our love matters, and our passions, our motivations, our desires, our emotional state, and where we think we have made mistakes. So our emotional state, Moon and Sagittarius, our love matters and passions and motivations, Venus and Mars and Leo, and where we may have thought we made mistakes at when we was going for our passions on ours by ourselves, Aries and Chiron. So for the most part, like a lot of people could be experiencing a tower moment right now based on looking at it like they made a mistake if they did something based on their passions, motivations, and their desires, but they try to do it alone or by themselves or individual too much. And with those energies being in Aquarius before Pluto went into retrograde and things of that nature, and then Saturn and all that stuff, we were supposed to be using our independent and individuality for like-minded individuals so we could sustain. So anytime you try to do too much individual things on your quote unquote passions or motivations, right, you manifest it Aries and Chiron and Aries. So you probably experiencing a tower moment or a mistake right now, trying to do too much it alone as an individual when it came to passions, motivations, and desires that we were supposed to be doing what we do alone and creating a sextile opportunity 60-degree angle to the Aquarius energy so it can actually matter and we can build the right face card, reciprocation, right rapport, do what God wants us to do, what the universe is transiting in at the moment. But you know, a lot of individuals may have been so much in their own energies and stuff like that. That's why your grandparents or people you may know are experiencing low-key tower moments right now, being too selfish when it comes to not utilizing the sextiles with Chiron already being in Aries. So, and then also, we could go too far when it comes to our love matters, and the things you love doesn't always have to be a person. So you don't want that to always be the only thing on your mind. Love could be anything that's a person, place, or thing. Anything that you love, appreciate, value, or willing to compromise with. A lot of y'all compromise with playing a video game too much. You might think, oh, I could go back to my gift and talent. Oh, I could go make that song, or I could go cut that grass or something like that. But hold on, I gotta kill a few more people on Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Then for the most part, that's what you would do. That's what Leo and Venus would do. Ooh, pardon me. That's what so you don't want Venus and Leo to do no shit like that and get y'all flunked out. Because it could go beyond that. I'm just making that as an example. You could take that to any of your circumstances. Um, and then Mars, you might have this gift to passionately express yourself right now, thinking you probably better than what you actually are. So you want to make sure you don't set yourself up to get your pride hurt either. And try not to make what you do based on anything else than God. And what you do will manifest a person you can care about or people and vice versa. But when you do everything for the sake of other people, you might blame that on the universe and something being karmic and shit like that. And that's really just you giving too much importance to your family, friends, or associates or coworkers who ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that they did can make you feel like you going through something karmic. Nothing that they did or say, they don't got that much power. So don't be in one breath feeling a certain way because you put too much care into something and thinking that God or these individuals got power or God gave them power or something like that. And these people be extremely flunked. And you'll be like, oh, I went through this, or this person is this, that, and the third because I'm going through a karmic shift. Man, ain't no fucking human that powerful. So get that whole train of thought and line of reasoning out your motherfucking mind right now if you watch my goddamn channel. And you might be a little lost into spirituality too much, where you're making excuses for just your failures spiritually because you fail to separate being aware of something that not good for you, whether it's a person, place, or a thing. If you're going to constantly be aware of something, developing ideas, and a lot of times y'all be wanting what y'all can't have, so y'all make yourselves mad. So a lot of times y'all got to be careful, and then y'all make that have something to do with God. God ain't got shit to do with how you came out of somebody's ass to be a fucking demon down here. God ain't got shit to do with that. Now I'm tired of you fucking Creflo Dollars and TD Jakes and goddamn Joel Olsteins and shit up here making the world feel like that. God don't got stop talking to God's people like that. Damn. God don't got shit to do with that. Saying real shit. But other than that, we also got an in conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, right? So with Jupiter and Uranus and shit, these is in Taurus. You know, you need to be expanding on your productivity. If you somewhere laying around and you ain't really doing nothing, right? Then don't do that. Don't do that. You ain't supposed to be doing that right now. That's you supposed to be you gotta be productive right now. Jupiter wants you to expand Taurus things. You cannot be right now not expanding. If you alchemist, if you into astrology and you just sitting on your ass because you don't know what things mean, chalk it up. You ain't spiritual. You just entertain. Because it don't necessarily mean you have to have money or whatever like that, or have to have a goal. You really do need to have a goal, but it mean put in the energy work. Some of y'all lives is taking care of y'all grandparents and things of that nature. There's a way to go about it, and there's a way not to go about it to still put you in a situation. You could be a negative person and have to do that for your rest of your life. You could be a positive type of person, and I'm not saying positive like good or bad and always be nice. I'm talking about things that's good for you, where you're able to separate and still do your gifts and talents along with things in front of you that you're not allowing to frustrate you. You could be another person that take care of your grandparents and stuff like that, and you allow that to transmute into your creative gifts and stuff like that. Then that same creative gift allow you to have $1 million. Now you can have a nanny, or you got enough money to take care of your grandparents the way they need to, and they got health issues or not. So you got one person take care of their grandparents and they just got a job. They're going to get arthritis in the kneecaps and die like their grandparents in the same cycle. Then you got the other one who actually changed their own life and had their grandparents see something different before they died and all better smiles and stuff. So it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. And even though I made that as an outcome, I'm not talking about the outcome. Oh, so you mean if I do this, I'm gonna make some $1 million? No, that you shouldn't want your mission to be, I want to be in a relationship, I want $1 million. No, the ability gets you that relationship, it gets you $1 million, and one that's better for you, not one that you accumulate because you had got those things first. The first mission was the relationship, or the first mission was money. So you're gonna get what you signed for. Everything in reverse in that way. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. And then so when you put yourself in that aspect, it's about the ability. So when you're in a better space, you're able to develop better mentalities, better awarenesses. And then that bends in as your adrenaline blood cells and become better actions. And those actions is your body language, what you choose to do with your time, your voice box, throat chakra things, and you would talk or act your way in a better situation than someone who shared the same 24 hours as you, who probably live around you or one of your siblings and things. See what I'm saying? Because that's where you at spiritually. It's about where you got to be at spiritually first. And that's why it's important. Ooh, pardon me. That's why it's important if you're gonna gain traction to get around like-minded individuals, because you could be the most powerful spirit all you want, but if you're not around no one that you could speak life into, and you could speak life into them, you're in unbalanced circumstances. So you might be a secret narc where you're trying to force people who's not in the same world as you to support you, and that's you already deep down know it don't matter if they're helping you or not. That's not necessarily the help you need. Like, for an example, you might got an auntie, grandparent, or a parent that, yeah, they're helping you. So you can't talk down and be like, you're not supporting me. But their way of helping ain't the type of help you necessarily need. So you can't like argue or throw no resentment, but you also can't really separate from their way of help either. It's like it could be situations like that. So you have to it varies a lot of times where when it comes into getting around like-minded individuals and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't matter if you got people that care or not. It's still important for you to be around energy that still kind of match the formation of what you got going on. What's up, man? So you gotta peep game. Oh, to get the passion. So you got to peep game and be aware of all instances, so you don't start to play out no energies that's resentment and stuff like that in an area that it didn't even necessarily have to be displayed. and you might burn a bridge with an associate, coworker, a family member, or something like that that you didn't need to burn a bridge with. But it might take a few months or years for you to get out of your own funk, for you to come to a conclusion to be like, okay, I was wrong. And depending on how egotistical you are, you might know you wrong, but refuse to give someone else the satisfaction. So you will remain separate or something like that. And you don't want to live a life like that. You know what I'm saying? Do you? You know what I'm saying? That's deep doo doo you don't want to be in and stuff like that. So you got to keep that in mind. You don't want to be in. That's you're building a house made out of misery blocks at that point. You know what I'm saying? And God could be putting all kind of people, places, and things in front of you to be like, look, you should do this, or look, you should do that, and you're gonna be looking at these things like this don't look like what I think is right or whatever like that. And that's like God, like what the hell with you? You know what I'm saying? And you stay in your little hell's kitchen in some way, shape, or form. But other than that, that's about as far as it go. It don't really go no further than that if you thought it did. And God don't like ugly, but you'll be thinking it got something to do with the universe and God if you in that situation. But you need to know you made that. You know what I'm saying? You 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 made that situation. The thing that you start to think, that's gonna start to be the world, the first world you in. As a spirit, as soon as you create an awareness, that's your first intent. As a spirit, you jump into another world. Now that bends in and become the filtering system of everything you see, how you see things in the one, two, and third dimension. Then you will start to interact with things into the one, two, and third dimension in that manner. And the one, two, and third dimension are people, places, and things. So spiritually, if you're in a negative space, you're gonna have a negative awareness, a mind. So the way you see the one, two, and third dimension with the physical, gonna be in a negative way. So you may interact negatively too and miss opportunities and stuff like that because you don't have the right awareness or you don't have the right structure mind to be able to peep game and see everything that's going on within the event that you are experiencing. So you'll be messing things up based on your only way of seeing it because the mind you're inside of as a spirit. And then when the mind start to use the body, because the mind controls the body and the spirit's supposed to make up the mind. You're going to be running around demonic because you a spirit that don't know how to make up its mind. So it's allowing the body in the one, two, or third dimension or outside sources to make its mind up for it. And then this leads you astray. Even when you find something that look like it suit the percentage level of what you was looking for, you will start to be unfulfilled with that area too. And then you will start to see, like, okay, I see what's going on right now. I got to be careful what I'm asking for, and I'm just lost right now with no direction of myself. But when you have value, that's your sense of knowing where you at. And when you value yourself, that's your space you want to be in as a spirit. So any direction you want to go in is in that spiritual location. Anytime you start to devalue yourself and don't think you're good enough and stuff like that, you might think that song ain't good enough. You might think that your whatever circumstance, your beauty salon ain't good enough or whatever like that and stuff. And anytime you start to damage yourself, right? That's you as a spirit creating an awareness that you didn't even have to make. Like you start being in a spiritual space and downing yourself and shit like that. And then for the most part, you're gonna start developing more ideas of how to do that. And then that play out into the one, two, and third dimension. You stop going to the studio, you stop doing hair, or you stop however the circumstance may be. And then for the most part, you'll be looking for things in the external world to suit your mind again, to make you feel like you have spiritual peace and you can develop more courages and stuff. And then that's when you know you're washed, lost, and rocked to sleep into the one, two, and third dimension. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep game. So yeah, you gotta make sure when you start to talk about. And then look, we got Saturn still in Pisces, so it's square, but like it ain't so negative. But at the same time, it can still play out negative if you're too much in your spirituality or your meanings and reasons to something. If you ain't spiritual, just your meanings and reasons to things, your ability to reason, right? All of that is going to be extremely front right now because if you're too far into these things, because you may need to learn that your emotional stance on these things don't matter none to the world. And you may have a certain moral system that you think if you do this in this way and don't do that in that way, that's how you gonna manifest. But what the universe and God gonna show you is put a whole bunch of examples in front of you of people, places, and things doing totally opposite, but being able to still be in positions that you want to be in. And then that's when you got to check yourself. Either you gonna question God and be like, these people deserve something else and you deserve that and become a hater, or you're gonna have to check yourself and change your own mind and let yourself know that your moral system is fucked up. And your moral system ain't got nothing to do with you or anyone else manifesting or not manifesting. And your moral system might be the reason you not manifesting. And some of these moral systems that you got may block you from doing certain things and make you feel like you're too good enough to do other things that actually could put you in a position that you want to be in and things of that nature. So you got to keep that in mind too, that y'all don't get too flunked out in that energy right now. And then and then also, like I said, it conjuncts goddamn Uranus. So you may misunderstand how to like express your uniqueness. So when you do finally decide to do it, because the moon is in Sagittarius, you may be potty mouth when you do it. You got like you might do some extreme energies to do it, like that you ain't really got to do, but it's really showing up pent up energies, things you really wanted to express in other areas. That's just you add it to this specific thing, and which you expressed it. So you add overemphasis. So you may go a little extreme to express something with your uniqueness that may make you look like you're rebellious and opposing for no reason. And you ain't have to go that extreme. It's your fault that you let it be pent up. You could have been found easy ways to have outlets and stuff like that, that these internal energies can have release systems and stuff like that. Even till it comes to like, ooh, pardon me. Ooh, I need that. Even when it comes into like certain circumstances and how y'all go about things. It's a lot of these things that y'all could have been got over. Ooh, shit, I needed. Ooh, shit. Been up for that for a long goddamn time. Shit, because I be feeling like I be backed up. I start getting a headache and all kind of shit. But yeah, like y'all talking. Somebody said my coffee cup shows me all day. But yeah, so y'all got to peak game. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, you may do some extreme shit to express your uniqueness because it haven't had a good release system. And you may develop in your mind that it's time to do it now. But the way you may do it may come across too extreme because of the idea that you developed to make it seem like this is the way I need to do it for it to come across well. But all those energies you've been in and all the pent up energies of you not expressing it that became an aura, whatever you thought this was the way you needed to do to make it come across well, it's still too extreme because it really didn't need to come across like that. You thought it needed to come across like that because you was the only one sitting back accumulating all the thoughts in the first place. So sometimes y'all over-analyze y'all situations and explode in areas that you don't necessarily need to be exploding in, and then take all of that and shit like that. So keep that in mind too. This is why the jump shot that you usually make, you missed it that time on the buzzer beater. And then, like I said, we got these retrogrades